So, Chad, before we start, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what your area of expertise is.
So, thanks very much for the introduction. So, I'm Chad Decker. I'm part of the Delmia Operations Consulting Group, and I've done various things over the years. A lot of experience in manufacturing, a little over 25 years, I guess. Various roles in IT and consulting and things like that. And so, I was also a former customer of Dassault before joining. So, that's me.
Okay. And again, so you're an expert in Delmia. So, just to get a little bit into your background here. So, what exactly is your area of expertise, and how does that exactly apply to Delmia?
Right. So most of the things that I've done over the last 20 plus years are really working with manufacturers. So people who are, taking, the raw materials or semi-finished goods and turning it into something that they can either sell or supply to another plant or, distribution center, et cetera. So really kind of working with those operations folks and understanding what their challenges are and then how we can use either technology or process improvements or potentially systems to assist them in making things, depending on the everybody wants things better, faster, and cheaper, right? So how do we aid manufacturing in providing first class quality or additional throughput or getting by with fewer people, whatever the use case is. And so I've done that for a number of years.
Right. And so obviously for doing these series, I've looked a little bit more into Delmia because usually I have my view of Dassault was very narrow because obviously we always deal with the manufacturing. So Dassault is very much a company about whose expertise for the longest time has been kind of simulation and design. So just because I have been asking a lot of my interviewees this question. So, how exactly can Dassault take this expertise in design and so forth and bring it to them into the manufacturing space?
That's a great question. So when you look at manufacturers, so oftentimes, if I'm making something, so I may have some challenges where, let's say the assembly line or the cell was set up in a particular way. Was that optimal? Well, it was what it was, right? It's, it might be safe, but, do I have ergonomics issues? So one of the things that Delmia can do is kind of take that 3D model, maybe put it up against a point cloud and say, okay, here is my line. Here's the thing that I'm making. Can I fit material handling equipment in there? Do I have a person who's reaching maybe an ergonomics? Is then we can model people as well, right? Am I reaching too high? Am I reaching too over? Is this set up conducive to someone working there? Again, do I have the most efficient line? Also, you can simulate things like, quality, all that. So if you're laying out a new line, you can maybe get the best optimum layout instead of having to build a cardboard or a mock-up, and you can get very close. And again, you can take an existing line and like I was saying, again, am I most efficient in terms of ergonomics or layout or flow? And so there's a lot of things that we can do rather than, well, we'll just work harder or we'll just keep at it. You can gain a lot of things from simulation and get there faster.
Okay, and so in speaking with Adrian Wood, it was very much like, okay, so if Dassault is a company that is kind of known for, at the very least, design and simulation, that
Mhm.
Delmia is the suite that kind of a reality and helps make these ideas come to life. So uh, just for the uninitiated, can you just kind of tell us what exactly Delmia is as a suite and what exactly it does and what are some of the advantages of it?
Right. So Delmia actually is an acronym, and a lot of people don't actually know this or may not know this, it actually stands for Digital Enterprise Lean Manufacturing um, Interactive Applications, right? And so, what does that mean? Well, if you look at kind of Dassault's compass, we're in the bottom quadrant, and that designation is V plus R. And really, it's where the virtual meets the real. Because again, you're talking about manufacturers in general, you're making things, right? So I'm either assembling things, or I'm fabricating things, or I'm transforming them from either a raw good or a semi-finished state, or even a finished state, into something else that will get consumed by another downstream process, or maybe an end consumer, or whatever that is. But I'm doing something, right? And so now, how do we take the virtual, like again, like a line layout, or a representative of a line layout, or uh, a drawing, a 3D model, and then transform that and where that meets the real thing happening, right? So we've got any number of products. You can get digital manufacturing, which you can do manufacturing bills of materials. You can author your process plans, work instructions, things like that. You can do some of these simulations we're talking about, line layouts, etc. We've got our Prezo suite, which is actually, the manufacturing execution piece. Now we can look at enforcing quality steps that I may have authored in the process plan. I can do things like keep track of genealogy, traceability for, uh, again, further quality steps, or maybe I am in a regulated industry where I'm required to keep track of all those things. We've got products like ORTEMS, which is advanced planning and scheduling. So now I can take some of those bills of materials and process plans and understand how that is put together and give an optimized schedule uh, for things like that. So we've got any number of things that can interact with the shop floor and assist people in either making things, a better quality, or faster, or with greater throughput, or uh, being able to do the same throughput with fewer people, etc.